Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Gridiron Network, episode number 3. A little delayed this week, but we're still here. We're still in this thing. We got some NFL news, as usual, to talk about today. Want to talk about the NFL rookies, specifically rookie quarterbacks, and how they performed in week 1 of the NFL preseason. And then we've got everybody's favorite subject, position rankings and fantasy rankings. Harry,
Let's
how are we
go.
feeling today?
Oh, dude, this is the best time of the year. We got football back. We're seeing good players play, and now we get to get in some fantasy and some regular NFL rankings. I'm very excited to get into today.
Yeah, so we're going to start off as usual with the NFL news segment. First piece of news, Landon Dickerson had a minor procedure on his knee, and it looks like he is set to return around week 1, early weeks of the season. They trimmed the meniscus. It was feared that it was going to be a season-ending injury. Instead, they were able to get him back with this minor surgery here to have him back, hopefully for the early season, and that is huge for the Eagles because he is one of the best guards in the NFL.
Yeah, I was going to touch on that as well. They got very, very lucky from what ended up happening because when I first saw this news, it really did sound like it was a major injury. So just him having a minor procedure is huge. And the fact that his goal is returning week 1, I mean, that is literally the best scenario for them.
Yeah, the one thing that I did want to touch on quickly, and I don't know the exact specifics, so correct me if I'm wrong here, but from what I've heard is it's kind of similar to what happened with people like Joel Embiid with the 76ers, and when they did the trimming of the meniscus, it either works or you end up like Joel Embiid has, to where you're having constant nagging knee injuries over and
Yeah,
over again. So,
ruining
and
his
then you look
career.
at JJ McCarthy, who ended up opting for the big surgery. It is now back. So I think it's scary when you look at, what's happened, but it could just be an extreme case of with Joel Embiid.
Yeah, seriously. Hopefully, obviously, we're hoping for the best here. That offensive line is, if not the best, one of the best in the league. So it would
Stoutland
just be,
University.
dude, exactly. It would just be huge for Landon to get back there quick.
Yeah, and then the next injury that we have to talk about here is another knee injury, and it's with 49ers head coach Kyle Shanahan estimating that Brandon Ayuk, who's recovering from a knee injury, that he could be back around week 6.
Yeah, so I got a little something against Ayuk. I drafted him in fantasy last year, and let's just say that was a massive mistake, but for fantasy reasons. This is honestly pretty huge. I mean, he's not going to get back until a month and a half into the season, and you still have Jawan Jennings that is banged up. So Pearsall could easily be their number 1 going into the year, and that's just huge for fantasy. I love myself Christian McCaffrey, so that's just less receivers, more work for him, even though maybe he shouldn't be getting more work, judging how we've seen him in the past years. But it's great news for everybody else in fantasy, and hopefully Ayuk could heal up and get back quick.
Yeah, man, for real. And then last piece of big injury information that we're going to talk about here is Dolphins running back Alexander Madison underwent season-ending neck surgery and is out for the season now. You know, heal up fast,
Yep.
Alexander Madison. But the big thing that I wanted to talk about here is that the Dolphins have made it a point in the offseason and in preseason and training camp now that they want to run the football. They want a power back, specifically for goal line situations. And in the Bears preseason game against the Dolphins struggled to get the ball in the end zone. There was one specific instance where they had about 4 chances and they ran it up the middle 4 times in a row and failed to get in. Jalen Wright is not a good power back. Alexander Madison is now out for the season, but you know who did do good there? Ollie Gordon. And I invested a lot in this kid when it comes to Dynasty for fantasy,
Yep.
and he looked phenomenal against the Bears. He was tearing us up. I don't remember his exact stat line, but I know he was averaging about 5 or 6 yards per carry.
Yeah, man, I do want to also hit on how you said with Dynasty because I'm not myself, I'm more of a redraft guy, but I'm trying to get into Dynasty, and I literally did just draft Ali about a month ago. So, I mean, he has a big opportunity to step up here, and I do second what you said about Jalen Wright. I was a fan of him, but I don't think he's going to be what they need in the long run.
Yeah, and then you look at the other guy back there, Devon Achan, and Achan, while a fantastic fantasy running back, he's got a bit of an injury problem. So when you take that into account, as well as I think that Gordon will be getting a lot of the goal line touches, similar to how Raheem Mostert was there when he had that like 20 touchdown season, I think that Ollie Gordon's going to quietly end up a low RB1 as we get later into the season.
Oh man, dude, can you imagine how nice that'd be for our dynasty teams, man?
That'd be phenomenal, man. A bit of a hot take, but I do think he will end up at some point taking a good share of Achan's carries.
Yeah, no, he definitely has the talent to do so, and you kind of nailed it with Achan isn't the most healthy player either. So, I mean, I don't know if that's something a player you just want to give 100% the workload, and I think Ali is there, and he can be perfect to keep switching in certain downs.
Yeah, for sure. And then next piece of information we have here, Chiefs wide receiver Rashee Rice is expected to have his disciplinary hearing with the NFL on Tuesday, September 30th. And the big thing about this, it means, is that he will be eligible to play in the first 4 games for the Chiefs this season before any potential discipline comes into play for his role in a multi-car crash in the offseason in Dallas. So I think this is huge for the Chiefs because it can get them off to a hot start. And once they get off to a hot start, the Chiefs, they just keep rolling, man.
Yeah, I think I am very, very, very indifferent to think or what I think about this just because I don't know for fantasy purposes. I really don't know what to think. Like, do I want to draft this guy? And yes, I'll have him for the first 4 games, but then he's out for, I mean, we don't know at this point yet. So that's a very, very interesting situation there. And I honestly don't know if it's a good thing, a bad thing, or just neutral for fantasy.
Yeah, and from what I was hearing, again, it's just rumors at this point, so you really
Yep.
don't know how accurate it is. But from what I'm hearing, it's going to be around a 6 to 8 week suspension for Rashee Rice if any suspension does come of play. And when you think about that, that puts you at week 11 through week 14. So that's the back half of the season. It's going to be hard for him to work his way back into the offense at that point in the season when the Chiefs have had so much time to get their offense down and pat. So
Yeah.
it's going to be really interesting. It's something to keep an eye on over the next couple of weeks here while we await this on September 30th.
No, man, I agree with you there. It is a 6 to 8 game, man. That would be absolutely brutal.
Brutal.
Unfortunately.
Brutal.
But, I mean, that means it should just be wheels up for Xavier Worthy and Travis Kelce then.
Yes. So one more piece of charges. So Quinshon Judkins, as of today, was cleared of charges and is set to return to the Cleveland Browns. And I think that's a huge one for the Browns because Sampson has been tearing it up in training camp. And now you add in Quinshon Judkins as well. And it's going to look scary in that backfield there in Cleveland.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I already liked that the Jerome Ford and Sampson backfield while Judkins was possibly going to be out. But, I mean, if he's cleared of all charges and he's already set to return to the team, this guy is going to be a beast in that backfield.
Yeah, I don't think we'll see him in preseason games this weekend, but we might see him week 3 of the preseason. It's possible. If not, I do think he's going to have a slower role to start the season just because he won't have had as much time with the team. And like I mentioned, Sampson has been killing it, man.
Yes.
And I was big on Sampson coming out of Tennessee as well. So I wouldn't be shocked if he just kind of takes the leash there on this RB1 role, and Judkins has to earn his way back into the team, after clearing these charges.
I think we're on that in that situation. I think at the end of the day, it is going to be Judkins' thing. I think the odd man out here is Jerome Ford. I think Sampson will lock up that RB2 role whenever Judkins is ready to come back. And I don't think it's going to affect Judkins. It's not going to affect Sampson the most. I think Jerome Ford is unfortunately going to be the odd man out of this backfield.
Yeah, man, with running backs, it's always age, right? And Ford, I don't think, is even old at all, but you've got 2 rookie running backs there. So there's, no matter how old you are, you're not as young as the rookies, unless you're Tyler Shaw, He's up there for a rookie. But most of the time, rookie running backs are younger, and running back is all about age, wear and tear. So unfortunately, Jerome Ford is, like you said, he's going to get the short end of the stick. I'm sure he'll get a job somewhere else on a team and have a serviceable role, but I don't think it's going to be in the Browns for a very long time.
Yes, and just honestly, we can just keep going with the longest yard. It looks like they're trying to get all their players from that team. Isaiah Bond signed also with the Browns, cleared his charges. And, I mean, I was very happy for him, or I was very happy that this got figured out because as a player, I think he is good. And this Browns team is really, I mean, dude, they have 6 quarterbacks on their roster right now. They don't even know what they're doing. So why not get them on there, see what these rookies got in them? Well, this year is most likely going to be a down year for them.
Yeah, this year's going to be pretty much chalked up. But Isaiah Bond, man, I mean, coming into this past year's draft, he was projected to be a second-round pick. Some had him early to mid-second round. And obviously, with everything that happened, he ended up going undrafted because teams were super cautious to draft him with everything going on. So this is huge for the Browns with him now being cleared. Or I don't know if it was so much cleared. I believe that they just declined to push forward with charges, which at the end of the day, when it comes to legality, that's all that matters. You know, whether morally or ethically, however you feel about it, legally, Isaiah Bond is cleared and is able to play with the Browns. And he is a hell of a player, man. Like you said, he is going to be huge for a team that's honestly lacking receiving talent.
Yes, thank you for clearing that up because I didn't know how that went down, if they just cleared him or nothing went through with that. But I really do think, I mean, that receiver room right now, I'd say the main two, obviously you got Jerry Jeudy there, you got Cedric Tillman. I mean, I feel like that wide receiver 3 spot may just be wide open.
And they have Deontay Johnson, who they brought back.
Oh, I forgot about that guy. I forgot he ended up on there.
I do think Deontay Johnson is one of those receivers that is unfortunately over the hump. He almost reminds me of a guy like whatever he wants to call himself nowadays, Robbie Chosen Anderson. But he was super good for a short period of time, and then once he left, I think it was Carolina, and he was just kind of hopping from team to team. That's what Deontay Johnson reminds me of right now.
Yeah, man. Dude, I'm like, do not know how to feel about him at all because he was always a good player, and then what the heck just happened last year? He was literally just getting bounced around team to team. And like you said, I mean, I literally forgot that this guy ended up on Cleveland. So, I mean, if he can figure it out, the opportunity is there for him. It's just, I mean, what the heck was happening last year?
I just don't get it. But, you know, I do want to there's one more thing I want to talk about with the Browns, but quickly, I just wanted to mention J.J. McCarthy reports today from training camp, the joint training camp here with the Patriots ahead of their preseason game. He absolutely shredded the Patriots defense in practice today, specifically in the red zone drills. He went 14 of 16 with 5 touchdowns. McCarthy is slinging it. I have heard only good things from McCarthy in training camp so far. He looked okay in that first preseason game. He did miss some passes, but he also had a beautiful dime that he dropped right in the bucket for Jordan Addison. And I think J.J. McCarthy is going to have just an amazing year for the Vikings, sadly.
Oh, dude. As somebody that literally just drafted Justin Jefferson in a startup dynasty, please keep talking because I love J.J. McCarthy. I think he's going to be a beast. And I do want to say, I saw yesterday, or when was it? I think they practiced either yesterday or the day before that, and he did have a more of a rough outing, but then he bounced back with this today. So I think he's going to be great in that system. And before he got injured last year, we saw him, and he was good last year. I think this is going to be perfect for this team. Unfortunately for your Chicago Bears.
Yes, unfortunately for the Bears, but just on J.J. McCarthy, I've always been super high on J.J. McCarthy because at the end of the day, the big thing that it comes to with quarterbacks is, can you win a football game, right? If I need you, can I rely on you? Can I put the team on your shoulders when it matters most? And J.J. McCarthy did that at Michigan. He won a national championship. He wasn't the most flashy quarterback, but he was consistently great. And I think he got overlooked a lot in last year's draft class. And I'm happy for him. It sucks that he went to the Vikings for me as a Bears fan because I want to root for him, but I can't because of where he went. But I'm so high on J.J. McCarthy. I think he is their quarterback for the next 10+ years.
It also helps that he landed with literally probably the best coach possible in Kevin O'Connell.
The quarterback whisperer. Yeah. If it doesn't matter who their quarterback is, he's going to turn them into a Pro Bowl player.
Sam Darnold was a beast last year, man. He was literally almost out of the league.
I think he's going to do that again this year with the Seahawks, if I'm being honest. I think he's going to tank with the Seahawks this year. And I do think there's a chance we see Jalen Milroe before the end of the season.
Oh, man. It's just, I honestly would agree with that just because I want to see how a quarterback does after leaving this system. And I feel like I personally don't think it's going to work out.
No, I was never high to begin with on Sam Darnold. Even last year, I personally gave all the credit to Kevin O'Connell. I'm not saying it was all Kevin O'Connell, but we saw what we saw from Sam Darnold. And guys do have late career resurgences like Geno Smith, even Baker Mayfield, but I just don't think Sam Darnold has that much talent. I'm not high on him. I think that he was a product of the system and a product of Justin Jefferson. So I think going to a team like the Seahawks here, he's going to look okay, but he's not going to look great. I don't have the Seahawks finishing very high this year, even though they brought in Cooper Kupp, even though they have Jackson Smith and Jigba. Exactly.
Sorry.
Washed. Cooper Kupp is washed, man. Those injuries have affected him, and Puka Nacua kicked him out of Los Angeles, and now he's wound up back home in Seattle. And I just don't think Sam Darnold's going to be able to feed him the ball as much as he would want, and I don't think he's going to be able to get open as much as he want, like when he had the Triple Crown season.
Oh, dude, that Triple Crown season is long gone, unfortunately, because I really do love Kupp as a player. He is a beast, and he's even a better person outside of football, and that's something I really do like. But I need to bring something up real quick, because I don't think we have it in these news. What is going on with the Rams and Matthew Stafford?
I haven't been too looped in to the exact specifics, but seeing with what I saw today with what Jimmy Garoppolo tried to do to Devontae Adams, he threw an absolute hospital ball that if it wasn't practice against your own team, Devontae Adams would be just dead at the moment. So Garoppolo cannot lead this team. Stafford needs to figure out whatever the hell it is that's going on and get suited back up. I have a feeling that I hope it's more so hope than I have a feeling that he's just doing the age-old veteran rule of I don't want to participate in training camp. I'll be there when the season's ready.
No, I agree with you on that. I think it's just so weird because they were saying, I don't want to say exacts just because I'm not 100% sure, but from what I was reading from it, they kept saying he was going to practice. He never would practice. And then I guess, oh, man, I would have to find this picture on Twitter because I do not know what the heck it was. But they had some tank thing outside of their practice facility strictly for Stafford to go into. And everybody was like, oh, my God, this guy is screwed. And if there's no Matthew Stafford, not only does that team take a massive hit in real life with Jimmy Garoppolo, all of their fantasy options are done. I'm not drafting
outside
Puka.
of Kyren Williams.
Yes, because I think he might get the dump offs. But I am not drafting Puka. I'm not drafting Devontae Adams. Dude, we literally already seen what Devontae Adams has said about Jimmy Garoppolo, and he wanted to get out then. So I'm assuming when he's more at the tail end of his career now, that he's really not going to want to play with that guy.
And then look who's behind Jimmy Garoppolo, Stetson Bennett, who he's not good, man. So they need Matthew Stafford, and they also need to start thinking about post Matthew Stafford because Stafford's getting up there in age, and with injuries like this happening, who knows how much longer he's going to be playing, right?
Yeah.
And it seems like a lot of their team is starting to get younger, specifically on the defensive side of the football. So I wonder what their plan is post Stafford because historically the Rams don't like to draft quarterbacks, let alone they don't like to draft in general is what I meant to say.
Yes.
Because obviously they took Jared Goff, but historically they don't like using their draft picks, especially as of late. So I'm excited to see what happens next. I know that's far down the line, but I did just want to touch on that really quickly there.
Yeah, man. I think it's, like you said, they're just waiting for the future of Stafford, and Bennett is the next Tom Brady.
No way.
No, dude, I'm just kidding, man.
I can't believe Stetson Bennett, man. Like, he was never good at Georgia. I'm
Nope.
sorry. He was so overrated at Georgia. And he had all of his alcohol issues. He hasn't been good in the preseason games that we've seen him play in for the Rams. He's like 30 years old at this point.
Yep.
Why?
It's
I just
done,
don't get it, man.
They just really need Stafford to stay healthy to sum that whole thing up. Stafford, you need to stay healthy because this team needs you very bad.
Speaking of staying healthy, Shedeur Sanders, last piece of Browns information here. Shedeur Sanders suffered an oblique injury and is likely to miss Saturday's preseason game against the Eagles. Now, it doesn't seem like something that's going to keep him out for long. It's more of just precautionary here for Shedeur to be missing this game here, which sucks because Shedeur's listed as QB4 still.
Yeah. Some people don't like that. I don't like that. But then I say something about it. And we got some individuals that really do not like this guy. Like really hate this guy. So we're going to keep talking about him because we know that you guys love
it. You either love Shedeur Sanders or you hate Shedeur Sanders, and people refuse to believe that there's an in-between. Now, I myself, I'll be the first to admit I'm a bit on a little too far on the I love Shedeur Sanders side.
Okay,
but that's because I'm so high on him, man. I think he's a good quarterback, and he's definitely good enough to be the starter for the Browns.
I mean, I think me and you can go in there and almost start for this Browns team. Like I said earlier, they have 6 quarterbacks on their roster. They have literally zero idea what they're doing. We talk about Shedeur, we talk about Flacco, Gabriel. Dude, freaking Deshaun Watson is also still on this roster. Like, I have literally no idea what they're doing with this team. And it is unfortunate that Shedeur suffered this injury because balled out in his last preseason game. He looked very good, and it would have been very exciting to see what he could do Saturday.
Yeah, Shedeur's first preseason game, 14 of 23, 138 passing yards, and 2 touchdowns there.
Yes, it's not, obviously, I'm not going to say, this is the greatest preseason game ever, because obviously we know the yards were low, but it's just, he's showing out, man. He looks good. I really think that it's just, he is not the 4th best quarterback on this roster.
No, and both of his touchdowns were really nice in that game as well. Another quarterback that performed great in the preseason, not a rookie, but Tanner McKee, 20 of 25, 252 yards and 2 touchdowns against the Cincinnati Bengals, in which I believe a quarter of that was against the Bengals starting defense, which is practically, other teams' second-string defenses.
Yes, I want to tell you something about this guy. So I had something to say on X about Shedeur playing. And I think I said something about, like, how is this guy QB4 on the roster? And I had a dude respond to me. Dead serious, by the way. Being like, Tanner McKee went for 20 for 25, 252, 2 touchdowns. Should the Eagles just throw him in front of Jalen Hurts? Dude, come on, man.
I mean, the Eagles are, at this point, it is safe to say that they are turning into a bit of a quarterback factory, though, with Carson Wentz into Jalen Hurts and Tanner McKee, who I was high on again coming out of the draft. I liked McKee. I didn't like him as much as some other people that I saw, but I thought that he deserved to be drafted higher than where he was and given a fair shot, and he's proving it. He proved it last season in the games that he played during the regular season and the preseason. He's proving it once again in the preseason. I wouldn't be shocked to see some teams trade for Tanner McKee at some point.
Yeah, no, I agree 100% with you because, he's showing that he should get a shot somewhere. And I do want to go back to what you said before people listen and they remember Carson Wentz, how he went out. This guy on the Eagles was literally an MVP favorite. He was a dog before he left Philly.
Not just a favorite. He was going to win that MVP award before he tore his ACL.
And then good old Nick Foles.
Oh, man. Nick Foles. Three-legged Foles.
Dude, that guy was... like, when he beat Brady, I was his number 1 fan, man. When I was smaller, I was rooting for the downfall of Brady every single day. So, yes. Nick Foles is a superhero to me.
One of the greatest Linsanity runs in NFL history. Nick Foles with the Eagles, because then he left the Eagles. He went to the Jaguars, did nothing. Came to Chicago, did nothing.
Yep.
But man, he puts on that Philadelphia Eagles jersey. He turns from Clark Kent to Superman.
No, dude, it was awesome to see, man. I'm hoping. I don't think he's. I'm not sure what Nick Foles is up to nowadays, but I hope everything's going good with you, Nick.
I heard the Cleveland Browns are calling.
Yeah, seriously, I want 7.
They just keep them coming. Next rookie quarterback I wanted to get into here, Tyler Shaw, 15 of 22, 165 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. Bit of an up and down game from Shaw there. And that's how it's been in the entire training camp for him from what I've seen, is he's had days like today where he had a pretty good day. He looked like he was commanding the offense. And then he's had days where he looked like it's his first day picking up a football.
Yeah. Yeah, which would have been probably about 1,000 years ago. But we can get into him a little bit. So I've been seeing that training camp that they're really just trying to find out who is the better crappy quarterback between him and Rattler. And I know Rattler has been running with the ones. So, I mean, I think Tyler might need to, I don't know, just show more consistency, man. If you can just show some of it, then I really do think that spot is yours pretty easily.
Yeah, because we've seen what Rattler has, which it's a fall from grace from Rattler, who since high school was touted as, you know, the next big thing at quarterback, and then he lost his job at Oklahoma to, you know, Caleb Williams, and then hasn't done anything in the NFL. So we know what we're going to get with Spencer Rattler. Tyler Shaw needs to go up and grab that brass ring if he wants a shot at the NFL, because he's not getting another shot after this year, even if he has an okay season. He needs to have a good rookie season to have a shot at next year. Otherwise, they're taking a quarterback. It's not a bad rookie quarterback class coming in next year. Arch Manning is likely not going to be in it. He's probably staying at Texas, so it's not as great as it could have been. But it's still going to be a good rookie quarterback class.
Yeah, you pretty much hit the nail on the head there. I really do think he needs to have a fairly good rookie season, because I think this team may be one of the worst teams in the league this year. And if they are that bad, I mean, obviously they're going to consider going a quarterback in the first round. So, I mean, he just really needs to show something this year.
Yeah, he does, man. But another rookie quarterback, Cam Ward, the number 1 overall pick, 5 of 8, 67 yards. He really didn't play that much. But before we even get into his performance, I've got a little gripe here with the NFL specifically, because we have the number 1 overall pick, who is a quarterback, who is a gunslinger. And you would think that he was an offensive guard drafted from some MAC school that nobody cares about with the media coverage that we're getting on this guy. It's ridiculous that his first preseason game in which he was playing wasn't even featured on NFL Network. You only got to watch it if you had NFL Plus or if it was, you know, local listing there. But there's just been no coverage about him. There's been so much about Jackson Dart, Shedeur Sanders, and even more about Tyler Shaw than there is Cam Ward. And I can't wait for Cam Ward to prove all the haters wrong. I'm big on Cam Ward. I was big on him coming out of the draft. I think that he has a super, super high ceiling here. I think he's going to be a multi-time Pro Bowler. And
hopefully not.
I just hope that the Titans can. Yeah, I know, hopefully not for you, but I hope personally that the Titans can build around him. I just hope for his case, man, because he's just not getting the respect that he deserves as a number 1 overall pick. That's all I wanted to say there.
Yes, no, I mean, that is, I mean, nobody can disagree with you there. It's just, I think it's just very, very unfortunate for him that he is in the same class with Deion Sanders' kid, Ashton Genty, and Travis Hunter, because, like, this is the first time we've seen a player like Travis Hunter before, and, I mean, Genty was one of the best college running backs ever, so it's like, yeah, he's not going to get that much talk. It is really just because the other guys in that class, but you kind of were spot on. Like, I think he's going to be good, as much as I don't want to say. He is just going to throw the ball to Calvin Ridley probably about 100 times. We'll see if Tyler Lockett can get up from his wheelchair, hopefully catch some touchdowns. But I'm very excited to see Cam Ward this year, man. I really do think that they're just going to let him just air it out this year.
Yeah, man. The last rookie quarterback, Jackson Dart, Anakin Skywalker himself, 12 and 19, 154 yards and a touchdown. He was slinging that ball. He had an absolute beauty that he dropped in the bucket. I don't remember who caught the touchdown, but it was a dime, man. I Jackson Dart, man, if Russell Wilson wasn't there, he would be starting over Jameis for sure. But I don't think Russell Wilson starts as long with Jackson Dart, especially after how Dart performed in that game. And it's just preseason, I know, but man, he looked good.
So, quick question for you: how many games does Russell Wilson start?
It's a tough one because it depends how well the Giants are doing to start the year. Because even if Russell Wilson is not playing good, as long as they're winning games with that defense, I don't see how you can take the risk of putting your rookie quarterback in when you have a guy who's doing just enough to get the job done. So I do think that at the end of the day, Mr. Unlimited Russell Wilson, he's going to start out the year. I think we may see Jackson Dart for 1 or 2 games at the end of the season if all things have gone to hell.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Giants are a sneaky team this year. So unfortunately for Jackson Dart, I think he's going to take more of the Jordan Love route, and which he's going to have to sit a year or two.
I agree with that just because of the 2 vets that he does have in front of him. Russell Wilson isn't terrible. Jameis Winston isn't terrible either. And I really do think they are going to ride with Russ for as long as they can because their defense is going to be so good. Like, he might be the perfect quarterback just to do enough to win them the game.
Yeah, you forgot about one quarterback there, Tommy DeVito.
Oh,
come on.
My gosh. My Italian, and I forgot about him.
But, yeah, man, I totally agree that Russell Wilson's going to do just enough. At the end of the day, if you're losing, you could either throw Jackson Dart in, or if you want some good viewership, you throw Jameis Winston in the game.
Let me touch on that real quick, because I just want to say, if, let's say Russ does suck, something happens with Russ, hopefully not, and Winston does have to come in, dude, we might see the highest fantasy game ever from Malik Neighbors, dude. He
For
will just
real.
get
He
like
is-
20 targets. He's just going to get every moon ball possible. And it's just, dude, I want to see it at least just one game this year.
I would pay to see that. I would pay good money to see Jameis just huck it up to Malik Neighbors every play.
Yeah, dude, and like we've already been like him and Russ have been connecting on just straight just moon balls this training camp.
Mm-hmm.
So I really do hope that carries into the regular season because I mean we know Neighbors he's easily is going to be one of the best wide receivers in the league. I believe.
Easily top 5 in my opinion. But that's going to wrap up our news segment there, which went on a little bit longer than it normally does. So next up, we're going to start with position rankings. All right, I've got my quarterback rankings here. Top 10 quarterbacks in the NFL. Now, I went back and forth on this one. I was mixing and matching names, and I'm sure in 2 days from now, I'm going to switch some names around again. I'm going to quickly just go through all 10 here that I'm going to get into a little bit more. Number 1, still Patrick Mahomes. He's still number 1 in the NFL. Number 2 is Lamar Jackson. Number 3, the reigning MVP, Josh Allen. 4, Joe Burrow. 5, because he is a top 5 quarterback, Jalen Hurts. Number 6, I've got Matthew Stafford. Number 7, coming off a fantastic rookie year, Jaden Daniels. Number 8, Mr. Hypothetical himself, Justin Herbert. Number 9, Baker Mayfield. And to round out my top 10, I have Jared Goff. Thoughts before I get into it?
I need to hear one thing real quick. Maybe just because I'm higher on this guy. Did I hear you say you had Lamar over Josh Allen?
I had Lamar over Josh Allen, man.
I need to hear why.
All right, so this is another one that I was going back and forth on, man, because last year I agreed that Josh Allen was the MVP. But I think I said it in episode 1 of the podcast that while Josh Allen was the MVP, he is more important to the Bills than Lamar Jackson is to the Ravens. I think Lamar Jackson was the best player in the league last season. When you look at his stats, he put up 5,087 total yards last season.
Insane.
And a lot of people, he just ran the football, which 915 yards rushing. But look at his passing stats, which was only second to pretty much Joe Burrow when you look at it. 4,172 passing yards, 41 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Lamar Jackson has just reached an absolute just highs that I never thought he was going to be able to reach, especially in the passing game. And I'm big on Josh Allen too, but his stats just don't come close to Lamar's from last season, in my opinion.
Yes, no, I will agree with you because I personally always called Lamar a running back. I didn't really think he would figure out this passing, but as we can clearly see, the dude did prove all of us that thought that wrong last year. So I definitely do see your point, and you defended that very well.
I do have to say, to counterpoint, play devil's advocate, if you ask me tomorrow, I've got a brand new NFL team here. I need a quarterback to build the team around. I'm taking Josh Allen. I think Josh Allen is able to do more with less. While, like I said, Lamar is the best player at that position, I think Josh Allen is able to carry players a little bit more.
Yes,
and then
you keep going.
Oh, sorry, go ahead. Okay, all right.
Keep talking.
Jalen Hurts, I just wanted to say, top 5. Just throwing that in there just so people didn't think I was stuttering. Jalen Hurts is a top 5 quarterback.
Hey, man, I love Jalen Hurts. I think he's a beast. I just wanted to say one more closing thing with Josh Allen and Lamar. For me, this is how I have it, man. I think it's so hard to put one above the other because I just need to see who shows up in the playoffs first. That is both of their two things. And I really do think until we see one of those two take that next step, that for me, they're always going to be in the same tier.
So when I was writing this up, I was going to a couple of people for help. I was like, hey, what do you think about my rankings? And then I was just going back and forth with those top 4 specifically, Mahomes, Lamar, Allen, and Burrow. I was mixing and matching these guys in different spots each time. And then I remembered, thanks to one of my friends, I remembered my rule that I've kind of gone by is that at the end of the day, I'm in the playoffs. I need my team to get a victory. Who do I want leading my team? And that's why Mahomes ends up at number 1. It's why I have Hurts at 5. Because it's why Stafford's above a guy like Jada Daniels after the season he had. Because I need guys who I know are going to step up when it matters most.
Yeah, no, you put that perfectly because I really do think that I do like the Stafford over Daniels. I don't know how some people are going to feel about that, but I think I like that pick a lot. I'm not going to lie with you. And I really do think if it does come to that situation, who do I want to lead my team down to win this game? The one is easily Mahomes, man. I don't even think, I'll be real honest, I don't even think that's up for debate. Like, we've seen year after year, this guy is just does whatever he wants in 2-minute drills, basically, so.
Yeah, last thing I wanted to touch on with my quarterback rankings here was number 8 and number 9 on my list, Justin Herbert and Baker Mayfield. I ended up going with Herbert above Baker, but for almost the entirety of leading up to this podcast, I had Baker Mayfield over Justin Herbert. In the end, I ended up going with Herbert. Just the thing to me that is really holding Herbert back is his playoff performance.
Yeah.
Consistently just absolutely fumbles when it comes to the playoffs. He has a fantastic year in the regular season, and he's proven it now a couple of years that he just can't perform when it matters most. And people will say, well, it's the team. But you look at what he does, he single-handedly pretty much lost that game against the Texans.
Yeah.
He was just interception after interception after interception. And it's like, yes, he put up 23 touchdowns and 3 picks in the regular season. But if you can't perform when it matters most, what do you do for me?
Exactly. I mean, perfectly. Like, if you don't show up when they need you in the most important game of the year, everything you did before that does not matter, unfortunately. And it really is unfortunate that he can't do anything or has not in the playoffs so far because he's a great quarterback, man. And he's still a young guy. And that offense is just going up now, I believe. And I just really, really hope that, I mean, we'll know he'll do good in the regular season, that if they do get into the playoffs this season, hopefully he can show up.
Yeah, and he's filling the shoes of Phillip Rivers, man.
Yeah.
If I'm being honest, he's going to be another guy that just can't get to the Super Bowl. And prove me wrong. I wouldn't be mad if you proved me wrong at all, but I just don't think Justin Herbert in his career will make it to a Super Bowl.
Oh, man, that's so brutal to say because he's so good.
I like Herbert, but I like guys who perform when it matters most.
Yeah, I
That's
mean, you can't argue that because he has not been doing that at all recently.
no. And then, so did you want me to go into my running back rankings next, or do you wanna start with your quarterback for fantasy?
Yeah, we can hit on. I'll talk a little bit. We can talk about some
All right.
fantasy quarterback rankings. So I will just go straight up with my 10, and then we'll discuss it after that. So in order: Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, Jaden Daniels, Jalen Hurts, Bo Nix, Baker Mayfield, Patrick Mahomes. I gotta love this one. Justin Fields at 9, and 10, Dak Prescott. So
All
you tell
right.
me, man, what do you think? Give me some
So
concerns. Give me some questions.
so Jaden Daniels over Jalen Hurts for fantasy.
Yes.
I
So let me discuss that one a bit. I really, really do think with Jalen Hurts, I don't think he's gonna be. I don't think he's gonna have that like C.J. Stroud type fall off as like going from year one to year two. And if they just keep on bringing this guy weapons, like his team literally just got better. Assuming, let me say this, assuming that Terry gets re-signed, because if Terry
yes.
doesn't get signed here, he is definitely going down my board. So this is, I'm assuming that they figure it out, they pay the guy his money, but I just think, I mean, you brought in, oh man, I guess this double cheeseburger is there. We do have to recognize
We have to
that.
acknowledge it.
Yes, like he is their wide receiver too, and that's it. I believe that's an upgrade, man. And you got this Crockett guy, dude. That I literally just opened Twitter and I see this guy doing something crazy every single day. It
That's
seems
the
like
running
at
back,
this
right?
point. Yes. I couldn't remember. I know we got Crockett somewhere in his name, but is that
I've
the
heard
guy
good
that goes
things
by
about him.
Bob? I think he goes by Bob. He goes by some weird. It's either Bill or Bob, one of the two.
I Hey, I'm not sure. Hands up on that one.
Yes, but like I just think there's more weapons, and Hurts obviously we know that they love to run that ball. The thing that scares me with Philadelphia is that they're so good that they'll put up 28 points at halftime and then just run out the whole second half. And honestly, that just scares me just a little bit.
And I fully understand that. The only reason that I would argue for Hurts to be above Daniels
Yep.
and is the touchdowns.
Yep.
Jalen Hurts is almost a guaranteed rushing touchdown a game
Good
with the
old tush push. Yep.
Yes, so I think that, in my opinion, Hurts and Daniels are interchangeable there. I would personally
Yes.
draft Hurts over Daniels.
Oh man. That's I like that though. I could
Yeah.
see Hurts, but I think it's just how big I am on Daniels. I don't think he's gonna fall off at all, really. I mean, I really do think he can improve from last year. His second year, doing all this NFL stuff, getting used to his system. I really do believe that this team could easily be a Super Bowl contender, and I really do think they're going to have to score, obviously, a lot to do that. And I think Daniels is going to show up. I think he's going to be literally their QB1 and a top quarterback for the rest of his career.
I do think that Daniels is going to be their quarterback for the rest of his career. I don't see them being a Super Bowl contender, though, man.
Dude, this is just one of those teams that I'm just higher on most this year, and I just really think that year 2 of him in this system, giving him some O-line help, giving him another weapon to work with, I really think it's just wheels up for Daniels and I almost called them the Redskins, the Commanders this season. That was crazy, actually.
You gotta. My only thing that I want to negate
Yes.
that a little bit with is Cliff Kingsbury. To me, it all
Oh,
comes
yeah.
down to Cliff Kingsbury because we saw what he did in Arizona. He started off hot in Arizona, and then he came crashing down. And if he does it again this year, I will fully hop on board of the Commanders train. But I need to see 2 years in a row from Cliff Kingsbury in that Commanders offense because he seems to get figured out quite easily,
Yes.
at least in the past.
Uh-huh. I was going to
And
say
how much of that was Kyler? I don't know.
I mean, man, I want to say also, we can speak about this real quick after this, but with Daniels, I do it is very, very, very fair to say you do want to see a second year, because if you would have asked people after CJ Stroud's rookie year where he was on this list, I think he would have been at least in this list, because he was the quarterback. Oh man, what was he? I don't want to put a number on it.
I took him, and I know I loved having him.
Yeah.
And I didn't love having him as much last year in Dynasty.
Yeah. I can't remember what he was like quarterback after his rookie year, or what he was going as in Dynasty, but let me tell you, it was very, very high. And I think that's definitely a fair point you say to let's see Jaden Daniels year 2. It's just like I said, I just don't think he's gonna fall off like Stroud did. So we'll just have to honestly just wait and see about that.
Yeah, man, but hopping in next, I've got my running back rankings here. Top 10, non-fantasy. This is just my position ranking, so I'm going to just rally them off. Number 1, I've got Saquon Barkley. Number 2, Derrick Henry. 3, Jahmyr Gibbs. 4, despite the injury history, I do still have Christian McCaffrey in the top 5. Now, number 5, I have Jonathan Taylor. I think even though he's been injured, he's been putting up stats to compete with guys who've played 4 more games than him. Number 6, I've got Bijan Robinson.
Yep.
Get
it right.
Number 7, I've got Josh Jacobs. 8, Kyron Williams. 9, I'm huge on him, Bucky Irving. And number 10, Chuba Hubbard. Those are my top 10 there.
All right. Let's see. I got one question that you need to try to convince me on right now. Why Bucky already in there?
Bucky, man, I love what I seen from Bucky last year. Because you got to think, to start off the season, he was really splitting reps. Even though he played 17 games and he finished with 1,100 yards, if he was really starting those early games, he would have been closer to 1,300 in my opinion. But, dude, he was just so reliable in the back half of the season, and he was so much better than Rachaad White. I think it's a crime that they're still giving Rachaad White carries when you have Bucky Irving, because he is a guy that can take pause. He could take the load. You know what I mean?
Thank you for saying pause before that.
he could take the workhorse load that he needs to be the guy that's getting 20, 30 carries a game there for Tampa Bay. So to me, he was number 9, and I was close to putting him even higher. But I had to think it was only one season.
Yes, I mean, yes, you perfectly said. It's only been 1 year, so we need to see what else that he can do. And I honestly, do you know, I'm assuming probably maybe not offhand, do you know when Bucky really did start taking over that backfield?
I do not. I want to say it was closer to like week 6 or 7, if I'm not mistaken here. I'm going to see if I can pull it up. Do you got any other people you want to talk about, though, for my list here while I'm checking this out?
Yes, I wanted to. Well, I was asking you that because I really do think that Rachaad White is going to be involved more than we both want. Is he better than Bucky? No. No shot. Not even close. But I think that they just love using him in the passing downs, man. And I really do think he's going to be out there more than we want to see, because did you get the exact week yet?
So it's looking like it was close to week 13. Week 12 or 13 was when he got 25 carries against the Carolina Panthers, in which he had 25 for 152. Before that, he had 12 carries, 13, 7, 9, 9, 14, 9, 10, and under 10 every time after that. But after this game is when he started hitting 15, 16, 20, and 19 carries. So that's when they realized, hey, we've got an animal on our hands. We got to unleash the beast. Take him off the leash.
Yes, and I want to see do you think with Cohen leaving, you think they're going to go more towards Bucky this year instead of the kind of like, so. Yeah, that's what I think. I think I'm in the same boat as that, and I really do I think Sean Tucker is not going to hurt them at all, to be honest. I really do think it's going to be a mostly Bucky with Rachaad White sprinkled in there for sure.
Yes, I do think Rachaad White's going to take a lot of the passing reps from Bucky, if what I think is true, and that they are going to really put the workhorse load on to Bucky there, and that he's going to be getting all these 25 carry games. I do think we're going to see a lot of Rachaad White in the passing game, which might hurt him a bit fantasy wise. But in terms of just actual running back rankings and how he's going to perform, I've got him at number 9, and I think by the end of the season he's going to be closer to top 5.
Yeah, no, I could definitely see that, and I do want to point out with your list that two things. One, I'm happy you gave Jonathan Taylor his respect, and I'm happy you gave Chuba his respect. Because
Yes.
Taylor last year, yeah, like most of his yardage and he just went off in the end of the year, man.
In
I
only
think the
14
Colts,
games.
exactly, yeah. I think the Colts were just like, dude, our season's over. We're just gonna feed you this ball, and
Just do what you
easily
want.
showed, yeah, literally, like he easily showed that when it comes to his skill set and how he runs that ball, he is elite. Like I 100% agree with you that he is a top 5 running back still.
Yes, and I think again, it's the story when it comes to skill positions, especially running backs. Can they stay healthy? And he's a guy that's been banged up a bit as of late. So I think if he stays healthy this year, that he's going to be for sure in the top 5 conversations, but he's going to be pushing up towards the top 3 if he stays healthy.
Yes, and then from that, we'll just go over to my fantasy running back rankings. And we'll start it off in order. Saquon Barkley, then Bijan Robinson, followed by Christian McCaffrey, Jahmyr Gibbs, Derrick Henry, Devon Achane, Ashton Genty, Chase Brown, Bucky Irvin, and at 10, Kyron Williams. Anything that popped off there? Anything you want to chat about?
Ashton Genty at number 7 already.
Yeah, I think
that one's a bit interesting, man.
Yes.
Which I don't blame you after what we saw in Boise State. But a rookie in the top 7, that's bold.
Dude, it is bold, but when that rookie is Ashton Genty, I really do believe that there is a good chance that this guy leads the NFL in carries in his rookie year. It is literally, do you know who's behind him?
Oh man, I don't think
I don't think it's Zamir White anymore.
Behind him.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think
that's all that matters. I don't think it's anybody of note.
Exactly. That's my point. It's just like it really is just him, and we can go back to this first episode of this podcast. You know, I love the Raiders, and I really do think they can be better than what they're being advertised as, and I really do think just Genty is going to see the entire workload, all the carries, every check down is obviously going to him. And I feel like we didn't even get to see his full potential yet when it does come to catching the ball as well.
Yeah, man. I mean, I'll hear you out on it. I was shocked to see top 7 for Genty there. And then you had Kyron a bit low. I feel like Kyron might deserve to be a bit higher. He's usually pretty reliable when it comes to fantasy, right?
I'm scared about him. I'm not going to lie. Yes, his numbers, like you see all these touchdowns. It's just why year after year, why do they keep drafting running backs? And like skilled running backs, I believe. I don't know where you sit on quorum, but it's just I really just don't know why year after year. They just signed Kyron to the extension, and now they just drafted a guy that apparently is oh man, what's his first name? I know it's Hunter. I forgot his
Jarquez
first.
Hunter.
Yes, there you go. He's been having a good camp, and I really think the thing with Sean McVay is his running backs, man. If you are doing good, he will just keep. Wow, I was about to say something so sus there. I'm very happy I stopped myself there. But if you're good in that system, he's just going to keep using you literally just until the wheels fall off. And the bad thing about McVay that scares me a little bit is if he does show like a little sign of just something that he doesn't want to see, McVay, we know, is not scared just to yank you out of there and give that backup the full workload. And that's just something that I'm a little worried about this year.
Okay. I mean, I'll hear you out. I don't think, in my opinion, it's a concern for this year, but I do think starting next year, because
it was, yes, it was very 50-50 for me. I was really, really the guy that just missed the cut that I was really, really thinking. I kept going back and forth was Josh Jacobs. And I really do think it's just, it'll depend if Kyron can, obviously, he's been a healthy guy so far. He's been playing. So hopefully he could just stay healthy, and hopefully McVay just doesn't do what he usually does with his RBs. And I'm hoping that the extension was kind of like Like, it would make me feel safe if I was a Kyren Williams dynasty owner.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I see where you're coming from there. And then next up, I want to get into my wide receiver rankings. And I'm going to go through my wide receiver rankings a little bit quicker because we are starting to cut it close here on time. So I'm going to go through my top 10 here. So number 1, in my opinion, Justin Jefferson is still the number 1 receiver in the league. Number 2, Jamar Chase. Number 3, A.J. Brown. 4, C.D. Lamb. 5, Amon-Ra St. Brown. 6, Tyreek Hill. 7, Puka Nacua. 8, Nico Collins. And 9 and 10 rounding out with now second-year players Malik Neighbors at 9 and 10, Brian Thomas Jr.
Yeah, I mean, that's a very good list. I have one very, very big question. There's one name in that list that is standing out to me. Tyreek Hill. I need you to... After last year, I don't know, man. It looked like he lost a little step, and it just scares me. Because, like, I feel like with Tyreek Hill this year, I don't think there's an in-between of him being really good and really bad. I think he's either going to go right back to what he was, or this guy is just, for fantasy reasons, falling off the face of the earth, man. I'm just so iffy on him this year.
So that was the name that, in my entire time leading up to this, I was the most just pulled on.
Yeah.
Was Tyreek Hill. I ended up putting him at 6, but I was also close to just leaving him off the list for Drake London, who was my number 11. Drake London was right on the edge of the list for me, but I had to think that even though Tyreek had a down year, Tua Tagovailoa wasn't playing most of the year. He had poor quarterback play, and when you have poor quarterback play, he was getting pretty much double teamed. They knew how to stop him because they knew nobody else was really going to be able to get open like that. Waddle had a bit of a down year.
Yep.
And I think that when you just take into his past seasons into account, I still had to give him the respect of putting him in the top 10.
Yes.
And then guys like everyone I have below him is so young and so short into their career that I felt like it was okay to put him above them. But I was so close to leaving him off the list.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, he is not on my top 10 for fantasy this year, but I do want to talk about that, just his situation very quick, because what scares me with all those Dolphin players, not only, I mean, you were talking about Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, and you got Devon Achane. Like, those aren't the healthiest 3 people either. And on top of that, you have to worry about Tua at quarterback. I mean, it's just like...
the captain of the unhealthy.
Dude, it's just like you would literally have to worry about so many things when it comes to these Dolphins players that I'll be very honest, so far with drafts coming up and the drafts I've done, I really have not taken that many Dolphins. I think I just took my first one in Achane, and that really might be it, I'll be honest.
Yeah, I don't blame you at all, man.
Yeah, it's going to be I think McDaniels or is it McDaniels? I think he's very, very much on the hot seat this year, man. I really do.
To me, he's the number 1.
Yeah, this team is just... I think it's him and Shane, man. I'll be honest. If our Colts start coming off to like a rough start halfway into the year, I really don't know what's going to happen. But just for time purposes, I am going to start getting into my top 10 fantasy wide receivers. Number 1, we start off with Jamar Chase. Number 2, Justin Jefferson. Third, we have C.D. Lamb, followed by Nico Collins, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Malik Neighbors, Drake London, Puka Nacua, Brian Thomas Jr., and coming in at 10, I have Garrett Wilson. What do you think?
So Garrett Wilson at 10 is really interesting. So I'm a bit shocked, honestly, that you have him on the list with who his quarterback is. And as high as I know we both are on Justin Fields, he is not a particularly great thrower of the football, as what he showed so far his NFL career. So I personally wouldn't really buy in on Garrett Wilson until a little bit later in the season. I might end up trading for a guy like him if I see a little bit that I like, but I wouldn't put my eggs in that basket. That's me personally.
So let me tell you a couple of the guys afterwards that just missed the cut. You tell me, would you put A.J. Brown instead of Garrett Wilson?
Yes.
Ladd?
No.
Then I'm assuming that would probably be, because after Ladd, I have T. Higgins.
Ooh, man. No, yeah, I would have put T. Higgins over, although it is close. I think that one's really up for debate because of how pass heavy that Bengals offense is, man. If T. Higgins is healthy, he is right on the
Dude,
verge of top
he's
10.
dude, no, not he. I think he's if he could stay healthy, man. T. Higgins, I think he had. Oh man, what was the stat I just read? It was either close or better than Jamar on a points per game when he was playing with that team. He did so good last year, and I don't know. It's just hard for me to put T. Higgins in the top 10 with this injury history that he has. But to go back on Wilson very quick. The thing why I am so high on him this year, I love receivers that are going to get all of the targets. This guy is going to see the ball so much. The last 3 years, he's had 279 receptions, and it's just like I don't see how he's not up there again with that many targets. Just like this guy is going to see every single pass from Fields, and just that volume, I really do think it's good enough to get him there. We saw he was a top receiver with Aaron Rodgers last year until they brought in his best friend. But, I mean, I really do think I have Fields at 9 in my quarterback rankings. I think he's going to be solid this year, and I really think it's just going to come to when they are in trouble, who is Fields going to look at?
Yeah, it's going to be a nice stack to have Fields and Wilson because, like you said, he's going to get all the targets. The last time we did see Fields be a great quarterback, honestly, passing-wise, was at Ohio State, and who was his number one guy? Garrett Wilson. So I'll give you that there. I personally am still staying away from it. But one more thing I wanted to touch on with your rankings here is you had Chase over Jefferson, right?
Yeah, I have Chase over Jefferson. I mean, we saw what Chase did last year. And I'm a little scared with Jefferson just because as of right this second, he is having a little bit of a hamstring injury on top of just this, basically a rookie quarterback. That's the only reason why I have Jamar over him. Just those two things scare me just a little bit. I just got to see it first, you know?
Yeah, I get that. Again, devil's advocate here.
Yes.
T. Higgins to Jamar Chase. If T. Higgins stays healthy, how much of that is going to pull away from Jamar Chase? And I'm sure if T. Higgins is healthy, Jamar is still easily going to be a top 3 fantasy receiver. But I do think that he is going to, because Addison's set to miss the first couple of games, I believe, right?
3, yes.
So I think that Jefferson's going to get a big lead on him fantasy-wise.
My thing with that Bengals, how you brought up. So we can go, T. Higgins missed the first 2 weeks, then he played 5 weeks, and then missed another 3, but then he finished out the rest of the year. I'll tell you T. Higgins targets 13, 10, 5, 8, 11, 12, and 5. Like, this guy, when he stays healthy, he is a dog. I will not disagree with you on that. It's just Jamar Chase. I really just, it's just Jamar Chase.
I get it. I'm putting my eggs in the Jefferson basket, but I understand why you're taking Chase over him.
Exactly. It's just, and we just, like I just said, I still need to see McCarthy. I still need to see how he does.
Yeah.
So that's
but
just my
I'm big
reason.
on him, so.
Exactly. That's just my, honestly, couple reasons why. But most of the time with those two, you really could just flip them, whatever way you prefer.
Yeah, and then last bit of rankings from me here for offensive skill positions. We are going to be talking about tight ends. So my top 10 tight ends in the NFL today. Number 1, I have George Kittle. Number 2, rookie sensation, generational tight end, Brock Bowers. Number 3, Trey McBride. Number 4, he's getting up there in age, but I still have Travis Kelce. Now here's where it starts to get interesting. 5, Mark Andrews. 6, Sam Laporta. 7, TJ Hawkinson. 8, Dallas Goedert. 9, I actually have Isaiah Likely. And 10, Zach Ertz.
Man, you need to talk to me about Likely. Number 9. Talk to me about that.
So I'll be honest, tight ends was a really tough one for me to do after I got past the top 5. Not even the top. After I got past the top 4, I was reaching for straws here, man. So especially when you're comparing stat wise, they are all very similar in this like 7 through like 20 range. They're all so close on stats, and I think Isaiah Likely, from what I've seen in terms of flashes from him, I've really liked as a receiving target for Lamar Jackson there. He caught 6 touchdowns last season as a tight end too. almost 500 yards and 42 receptions in 16 games, which obviously isn't tight end one numbers, but he's still sharing with who I think is a top 5 tight end in Mark Andrews. And I do think that this season, if not this season, maybe next, but I think it is this season that we do see Isaiah Likely jump Mark Andrews.
Yeah, no, I really do believe that this might be the last hurrah with Andrews, because every time they talk about Likely, man, they say this guy's going to be an all-pro. Like, they really, really like him. And to play devil's advocate about your list, I wanted to bring up one name that I think could deserve to be on this list as well. Maybe, honestly, instead of Likely, Tucker Kraft. He had, just last year, 50 receptions, 700 yards, and 7 touchdowns. I really do think he's going to be their tight end 1 over Musgrave from now on. So,
yeah, easily.
I do just like, what did you see that made him not make your list?
So 2 things. 1, he was a rookie.
Yeah.
2, he plays for the Green Bay Packers. So I do think that my bias comes into play there, and that I left him right. But to me, he's number 11. So again, he's right on the list. If I had to take someone off the list, it wouldn't be Ertz. It would be Likely for him, which, as we're talking about, I would probably put him at 10, Ertz at 9, Likely at 11. But for the sake of argument, I'm leaving him at number 11.
Yes, and just to just so we don't have anybody in the comments saying nothing, it was his second year last year. He played like
second year. There you go.
He missed most of his rookie. I think he literally missed like half of it. But then he came literally 6 targets, 6 targets, 6 targets, 6 targets, 4 targets. Like, that's what you want from a tight end. And I think he's honestly a perfect fit in Green Bay.
I do have to say, real quick.
Yes.
Even though I don't like him for being Green Bay, I did stash him in Dynasty the year of his draft, and it is paying off.
Dude,
he has been
I
great.
have one Tucker Kraft story, and mainly because I'm never going to forget it in my life. I think it was, oh my God, when was it? It was fantasy championship week of his rookie year. I had, oh my God, who do I have at tight end? I had somebody at tight end that got injured. I needed 10 points for this guy, for Tucker Kraft, this rookie Tucker Kraft to get. And I remember, let me see if I could find it. Was it week 6? It might have been 16. Yeah, he ended with 14.7. Won me my first ever big championship, and I'll just never forget that. So I know you hate your Packers, but I love myself.
I'll give him his respect, though, because he's a tight end.
Exactly. Yes, there you go. And speaking of tight ends, we'll finish this episode out with my top 10 fantasy tight ends. Number 1, Brock Bowers. I mean, this guy literally just different rookie year, like breaking all these records. I honestly don't think anybody touches him. I think he's the clear tight end 1. And then behind him, we'll go Trey McBride, followed by George Kittle, Travis Kelce, TJ Hawkinson, Mark Andrews, Sam Laporta, Evan Ingram, David Njoku, and 10, Tyler Warren.
Tyler Warren at 10, I don't blame you on. Even though, again, he's a rookie, just like how I mentioned Ashton Genty, at the tight end position, I don't blame you at all. I think when you have, no matter who the Colts quarterback ends up being, I don't think either of them are particularly good when it comes to throwing that football. And who's a bad quarterback's favorite target? Running backs and tight ends.
Exactly.
I'm staying away from Colts receivers, but I do like your take on Tyler Warren.
So, I didn't want to seem like a homer just by throwing him in here, but, I mean, Brock Bowers obviously is not no Brock Bowers, but Brock Bowers showed that rookies can do things for fantasy, especially in the tight end position. And I think just Warren is going to be so utilized in our offense that he is just going to see so much and be literally a focal point of our offense. And I really do just want all the Warren when it comes to fantasy. And I did throw him at 10 below those guys. He is a rookie, so this can go very wrong. Not everybody is Brock Bowers, but I just think from what he's going to mean for our offense that he is going to find himself in here for being a top fantasy tight end.
Another one that I'm a bit shocked by is TJ Hawkinson.
Oh, I knew you were going to say that one.
Coming off some injuries.
Yeah.
The one thing I will say is there's not much tight end talent behind him begging to take his job, but I would be really concerned with him with fantasy, having him at tight end 5, I would personally put Sam Laporta at 5 when it comes to fantasy, because I do think that Lions offense is going to take a step back this year, and I think Laporta is going to play a bigger role.
So, my case for Hawkinson was this. So, as we both said earlier, Addison is missing 3 weeks. Those are going to be JJ's first 3 games in the NFL. And who's a better safety blanket to a new quarterback than a tight end? And I really do believe that Hawkinson is just going to be the perfect fit while Addison is gone. And honestly, depending how those 3 games go, depending how those 3 games start with Hawkinson and McCarthy, I can honestly just see that connection just rolling deeper into the season. Because we can both say we're massive fans of JJ here, and I just think they're just going to keep throwing the rock. And I believe that Hawkinson is just going to be his safety blanket of this offense.
I could see it. Again, personally, I'm still taking Laporta. And another guy that I think that I would be taking over Hawkinson as well is Evan Ingram. I think Evan Ingram is a guy who I'd put above Andrews and Hawkinson there.
Yep.
I think Ingram's going to play a huge role in that Broncos offense. He was a great tight end for fantasy when it comes to his time with the Jaguars, and I think he's going to be even better with the Broncos, who are going to be – they're a West Coast offense. They like throwing quick passes, quick routes. They're going to go to the tight end a lot. I think Ingram's going to have a phenomenal year and put himself into top 5 talks that, in my opinion, he really doesn't deserve to be in, but I think stat-wise he's going to end up in those talks.
Yeah, I was a little scared with Ingram. I easily think he is going to make this top 10 if he could stay up, but I do agree with that, man. I do think it's going to be Sutton option 1, and then option 2, I mean, I think it has to be Ingram at this point. I mean, I just don't know who else they're really... I mean, I know you got Mims there.
I like Mims and Franklin, but I don't think they're as good as Ingram.
Exactly. And I think Ingram, obviously coming off an injury and 31, I believe. I think he's 30 or 31. That just scared me a little bit of it, but I can easily, I'll be honest, when it comes to fantasy and tight end, you could probably score 1 touchdown every month and you'll make this top 10.
That'd be a top 5.
Because, because like, that's just how easy it is. I believe after Bowers, McBride, and Kittle as my top 3, I mean, anybody
can.
Yeah, literally. I would say I'd probably put Kelsey at a safe 4 just because, I mean, we know Rice is gone now. I think
he's going to bounce back.
Yes, exactly. I think he's going to want to go out stronger than he did last year. And he said he was grinding this offseason, so we'll see. But with Rice missing, I would probably put Kelsey at a safe 4. But, I mean, between Hawkinson, Andrews, Laporta, Ingram, Njoku, or Warren, I mean, literally just pencil in who you like more.
And then you even have guys like the Bengals with Mike Gesicki. I mean, Jonnu Smith out there. Like, there's Pat Freiermuth. Like, to me, for fantasy purposes, after Kelsey, and then a couple more maybe, but it's really debatable after that because tight ends just aren't that great fantasy-wise anymore.
Yeah, and I left out some solid guys, too. Like, right outside my top 10. Still have Jake Ferguson, which, I mean, Dallas might throw the ball 50 times a game, it looks like, if Javonte Williams is their RB1. So, like, Ferguson might see a ton of work. Like we talked a little bit earlier, still Tucker Kraft, Dalton Kincaid. We got the other rookie in Loveland. And I got Goddard. I got Goddard. He's in there.
Kyle Pitts.
Oh, dude.
Where's Kyle Pitts at?
Come on. One sec. Let me delete Brock
Top
Bowers
5
real
season.
Quick. Yeah. Dude, I really hope it works out, man. I hope it works out for him. It's just I am done beating that drum until I see it. I think that's just where I'm at with him.
I feel like an abused girlfriend, man.
Yeah. Hey,
I'm coming back one more time. I'm coming back one more time. He's changed. He's a different man now. All
Dude,
right?
see, it's
this
like
is the year.
The more you think about it, it's like you got Panics, full year Panics.
They played golf together.
Dude, huge. Just so you know, well, I'm gonna give you a little fun fact here. When Cooper Kupp won his Triple Crown, him and Matthew Stafford used to go out to breakfast all the time with each other. So hey,
So what you're telling me
maybe
is Pitts is going to end up Triple Crown?
you heard it here first. Clip that.
Breaking news, TGN.
Yeah, exactly. So hey, hopefully Pitts can figure it out. I'm rooting for the guy because I really think the talent is there. It's just for some reason we have not seen it that much yet, other than his rookie year. So
Yeah, I'm big on him this year. I think this is the year he puts it together. But that's it from me on my side. Do you have anything else you want to add?
tune in next week.
Yeah, tune in next week, guys. We'll get into more NFL news. I kind of want to get into a little bit of record prediction next week, but we'll see. We'll see. It's too early to tell. Next week's episode should still be on Thursdays. So this week one got delayed a little bit, or on Wednesdays, but this one got delayed a little bit. But we should be back to normal schedule next week. But that's it from us for this one, guys. Thanks for tuning in. If you're still here, we'll see you in the next one.